What up, though? This the man Tony T with another episode of Tony T Reports. Today we talking about the migrant situation. It's becoming a little much. So let's start at the beginning, right? Where are these people coming from? Most of them, according to my little Google research, are coming from Venezuela. Okay, now in Venezuela, apparently, government doesn't work. I don't know why. I didn't get that far into the research. But it's probably because of corruption. Usually when the government don't work, it's some corruption going on, right? But that's neither here nor there. It don't work, right? So now that the government seems to have stopped functioning properly, right, the economy stops functioning properly. And then once the economy starts to not function properly, then your currency begins to become worth less and less. High inflation, and you can't make ends meet, right? So at this point, what did they do? They left. I don't blame any migrant for seeking a better life, okay? Everybody deserves the opportunity at a better life. Now, with that being said, at what point does your better life really concern me? That's really the root of my question. Because, okay, now, mind you, they walked here. Okay? They walked here. Like, put all their stuff in a knapsack or a book bag or a suitcase, whatever, on rollers, right? That would make more sense if you're walking from Venezuela to America. But I'm just saying, you walked here. So the situation in Venezuela must be bad. And this is not anything out of the ordinary. I think we all have known somebody to get a good job and move. That's usually how it works. If you work for somebody, right, and you need work, you're looking for a job, okay, you look in a certain space, right, close proximity to you. The longer you don't have a job, the larger your proximity grows, right? And like I said, we've all known somebody get a good job. Man, I found a great job. It's paying great. I leave Thursday. I'm moving, right? So the migrants are doing what they're supposed to do. They're going for the bag. They're going to get to the money. Like, that's just what you're supposed to do. But once again, how is this on me, though? Because you walked here. So it's got to be messed up in Venezuela because you walk. I'm going to tell you like this. If I walk to Canada, there is nothing in Chicago that means me any good. The whole United States. There's nothing. I would rather sleep. If I walked, I would rather sleep on the streets of Canada than be in Chicago another day. That's just my philosophy. But okay, that's neither here nor there. Now, they get about maybe 2 years ago at this point, we have the governor of Texas who says, hey, we have an issue. Right? He sends up a little flare. Hey, we have an issue down here at the border, and I think we need to fix it. Right? Now, what did Democrats do? Because Texas is a Republican state, it's a Republican governor. What did Democrats do? Democrats said, hey man, those are human beings. And you sound a little racist right now. You need to treat them with some dignity and some respect. Okay? So now about a little over a year ago, the governor of Texas came up with a brilliant idea, which personally is some asshole shit that I would do. I can't lie, right? He started taking the migrants, putting them on buses, and sending them to Democratic states and cities, so-called sanctuary cities, right? Which I'm telling you, I would do some asshole shit like that. Because basically you telling me like I don't have a problem and then calling me racist on top of that. Like, dude, you want them? Okay, you take them then. Hey, let's see how you feel about that now. Let's send a couple buses, right? So he started sending buses, but it's more than a couple because I'm in Chicago, right? I'm here in Chicago, and in Chicago, a little over a year, we have over 22,000 migrants, and the buses are still coming. That's one city. I don't even want to know the number of how many people actually crossed the border and went on these buses. Dude, at 22,000, over 22,000 people, somebody not supposed to be here. I think mathematically we can agree. There is no way that you can vet that many people that fast and just put them on buses and send them across the country. There have got to be people here who not supposed to be here, who are some bad people, right? Like, I think we can. That's too many. That's just in Chicago. I don't even want to think about the rest of the country. What is wrong? Okay, let's go over a couple terms, right? What is wrong with militarizing the border? Like, when I heard the term militarizing the border was around the time that I heard the term sanctuary city, which I had never heard before, right? I had never heard either term before. But when I found out that we basically don't have a military at the border, that's a little unnerving to me. Like, that scares me a little bit, right? Because you lock your door, right? You don't let anybody in your house. You have an alarm system, or at least you got the damn sign that say you got an alarm system, even if you don't. But you don't let anybody in your house. How do we not have military at the border? Anyway, sanctuary city, right? The first time I ever heard the term was from Lori Lightfoot, who was the mayor of the city of Chicago around this time. And I believed, which I think most Chicagoans believed, maybe New Yorkers, anybody, let me know, comment down below if you live in a sanctuary city, if you thought this. I thought that a sanctuary city meant that we won't actively seek out and detain and deport people who are here illegally, right? We won't actively seek you out to put you out. Now, if you get caught committing a crime, hey, man, that's on you. We don't really have nothing to do with that, right? But we're not going to turn you over to ICE for no good reason. That's what I thought a sanctuary city was. You tell me what you thought it was. Because now they have seemed to have changed the meaning to bring us your poor and huddled masses, which I'm not really down with. I know it might sound mean, but I don't care. Like, I'm not, why is this concerning me? And then they're coming seeking asylum, okay? So here's another reason that they're coming in droves. Because little do we talk about on the news, Chicago has taken over 30,000 Ukrainians, right? At the same time. So we can take people, right? We're not complaining about that. Nobody's complaining about that for a couple reasons. One, they white. Two, they're coming from a war-torn country. They're seeking asylum, right? I don't know if that's the case for Venezuela. I know that they're in a bad situation, right? But this, to my knowledge, I don't know if this is a war-torn country like we would consider Ukraine. I think that there's definitely a plight. And like I said, everybody deserves the opportunity at a better life. But how does this concern me? If I showed up in Venezuela one day, I'm not looking for the Venezuelan government to get me a crib or pay my rent for the first year or give me some type of assistance or clothes or anything, right? Like, I wouldn't look for that. That's not what you do. When you leave a bad situation, you're going to get it out the mud, right? Like, you're going to get it the best way you know how, because this has got to be better than what I just left. And it doesn't seem like that to me, right? Okay, so I'm checking out the news, right? And I see them interviewing some migrants, right? So we have migrants everywhere. At first, they were at the police stations, just sleep in tents in front of the police station, inside the police station, everywhere, right? We put them at the airport. They're sleeping at the airport right now, okay? Like, they catching a connecting flight, which I don't even know how that's safe. But anyway, they're everywhere. So they're interviewing a guy, and he says, man, I'm sleeping on the street. They have me sleeping in a tent. And when I was in Venezuela, I had a house. I didn't sleep in a tent. Now, I don't blame him. I blame our government for putting me in the situation to feel like an old racist white man, right? But all I can think about when he says, man, when I was at the crib, I had a house. I didn't sleep in no tent, and all I can think is, well, take your ass back to the crib then. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Take your ass back where you come from, right? Which is not a nice sentiment, but it's the truth, ain't it? Like, how is this my plight? Same, look, I see him interview another woman. The woman says, I need to hurry up and start working so I can make some money and send it back to my children. Bitch, you left your kids? Like, how bad is this really? That who got the kids? Who got the kids? Grandma got the kids? Little cartel members got like what? How do you leave your kids in a situation that's so bad? It's not adding up. Either it is that bad or it ain't that bad, right? But then we let them in and then tell them basically, like, all these people are here for better or worse on like an I bond, basically, on your own recognizance, basically. Like, all right, we're going to let you into the country, but then you're going to have to fill out papers and show up to you're going to have to do the process to stay here. Nigga, why? Why would I do that? I'm just trying to get some bread, bro. This is America. Once you enter the threshold, you can get some money, sir. That's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You can get some money. Now, is it enough money, to retire on? I don't know, but you can get some money. And that's another thing. You bringing in an influx of people, right, whose normal income is way less than what it would be here, right? So, case in point, let's just take a truck driver, right? Let's just take a truck driver. A truck driver needs to make a certain amount of money a day just to operate. Okay? That might be like, man, I need to make $1,000 a day. Okay? So that means out of that $1,000, he can take home a certain amount of money after operating expenses, right? When you bring an influx of people into the country who will work for much less, that same guy, that migrant that came in, he can compete with that driver because he's going to charge way less because his take home, man, if I can make $100 a day, I'm great. That's what they're thinking, like that's the concept behind it. Like, man, I'm here to get some money. I don't know what y'all are doing here, but I'm here to get some money. And if you start undercutting people who've already had these businesses, who've already paid into the taxes, you kind of ruining the economy here. Now, I'm more than certain that if I dig a little bit further, that I'm going to find out that 30 years ago, 50 years ago, this is all the United States' fault somehow. I don't know why, but it just seems like that. You can find a documentary somehow saying that the United States caused this, anything way back in the day. And it's probably true, but I'll look into it, right? But until then, I'm Tony T. This is Tony T Reports, and you do what you feel.